Good afternoon and welcome to the Pharr Bridge International Bridge Board meeting for Wednesday, August the 18th, 2021. We're going to go ahead and start with a roll call. Present.
Present. Present.
Present.
For the record,
here.
Larry Hernandez here.
Present.
City Engineer Omar Ansandua. And Police Chief Andy Harvey.
All right, we're going to go ahead to item B, which is a Pledge of Allegiance and Invocation. Please stand.
Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let us pray. Father, we come to you this hour asking for your blessing and help as we are gathered together. We pray for your guidance in the matters at hand and ask that you would clearly show us how to conduct our work with a spirit of joy and enthusiasm. Give us the desire to find ways to excel in our work and the intelligence to make the right decisions. Amen.
Thank you, Luis. We'll start with line item 2, which is the Director's Administrative Report. And we go to A, Crossings and Revenues Report for July 2021.
Good afternoon, board members, chairman, city officials. For the record, Fred Brown, Director of Operations at the Pharr Bridge.
You need it?
I'd like to present the crossings and revenues for the month of July, fiscal year 2020-2021. On page number 3, we have the Southbound Car Crossings for the month of July. Total crossings for cars, we crossed a total of 26,463, which represents a decrease of 5,826, or a difference of 18.04% for the month of July. Also, I'd like to present the other crossings from other ports of entry. We have Brownsville, Gateway, Veterans, and Free Trade Los Indios. A combination of all three bridges, an increase of 83,122, an increase of 66%. Eagle Pass, an increase of 48,648, 36%. Laredo Bridge, 59,868, an increase of 29%. McAllen Hidalgo and Ansalduas, a combination of both bridges, an increase of 30,274, which represents an increase of 36%. Progreso Bridge, they had an increase of 10,486, an increase of 34.23%. Donna Bridge had an increase of 15,392, an increase of 81.92%. And again, the Pharr Bridge, we had a decrease of 5,826, which represents a decrease of 18.04%. On page number 4, we have the Southbound Truck Crossings. For the month of July, we had a total of trucks crossed through the Pharr Bridge, traveling from the U.S. to Mexico through the Pharr Bridge. We crossed a total of 60,487 trucks, which represents an increase of 4,260, or an increase of 7.58% for the month of July. Overall, from October to July, total crossing, we've crossed a total of 593,023 trucks, or an increase of 70,040 trucks, or an increase of 13.39%. This is for the month of July. Also, I'd like to share with you all the southbound crossing from other ports of entry. We have Veterans, Los Tomates, an increase of 909 trucks, 4% increase. Free Trade Los Indios, 1,046 decrease, 39% decrease. A combination of both bridges, an increase of 137, 1% increase. Eagle Pass, we had an increase of 1,519, 10% increase. Laredo Bridge, an increase of 15,680 trucks, an increase of 8%. Pharr Bridge again, we had an increase of 4,260, an increase of 8%. Progreso Bridge, they had a decrease of 517 trucks, a decrease of 11%. And then Ansalduas Bridge, they had an increase of 1,665, which represents an increase of 85%. Page number 5, we have the northbound truck crossings. These are trucks that are traveling from Mexico to the U.S. through the Pharr Bridge. For the month of July, we crossed a total of 54,204 trucks, which represents a decrease of 1,346, or a decrease of 2.42%. Again, truck crossings show an increase of 54,000 trucks, or 10.5% over the same 10-month period from October to July compared to fiscal year 2019-2020. On the agriculture side, the Pharr International Bridge total agriculture trucks, 16,731 truck crossings for the month of July, representing 31% of all the imports that are coming from Mexico to the U.S. As well, on the agriculture side, the Pharr International Bridge import lot show an increase of 928 trucks, or an increase of 5.87% over the same month period in fiscal year 2019-2020. On page number 6, we have a combination of both southbound and northbound through the Pharr Bridge. Again, these are trucks that are traveling from Mexico to the U.S., U.S.-Mexico. Total crossing, 114,691 crossings. Compared to last year, same month, we had an increase of 2,914, or an increase of 5.87% for the month of July. Revenues, page number 7. Total revenues collected for the month of July, we collected a total of $1,417,363, which represents an increase of $133,802, or an increase of 10.42%. From the month of October to July, we collected a total of $13,691,116, which represents an increase of $1,710,114, which represents an increase of 14.27%. Board members, Chairman, this concludes my report. If you have any questions.
Do we have any questions? No, sir.
Just a comment on as you saw on the car crossings, the reason that we have the decrease compared to other bridges is due to the construction that we have on the Mexican side, and also on the new PITA program that Mexican Customs has implemented on the Mexican side.
And I guess we also saw in San Luis increase their southbound traffic, but we still gained 8% ourselves, so.
That is correct.
So it wasn't a significant loss to us.
Fred, real quick, and the Laredo volumes, does that include Colombian Bridge or no?
It includes both. I know you requested this information. I did reach out to the office of Laredo. They had some issues sending that information. They only sent me the entire 2 bridges on the commercial side.
Do you know if they include also the rail? Because it's like 24 complete rail trains across a day.
No, it's only truck crossings. It's only a truck.
Because I heard a little rumor that they include also like the rail in there, like so that items can be
Really?
high.
The information that they send us, it specified that it's only trucks. Yes. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you, Fred.
Yes, sir.
We go to line item B, which is a finance report for July 2021.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Luis Bazan, Bridge Director. For the record, we do have Carla Saavedra to present the financial report for the bridge.
Good afternoon, Carla Saavedra, Finance Director for the record. Nothing to share other than great news. Like last month, toll revenues keep going up. Up to year to date, we're 13.5% higher than last year, and we collected so far about $1.5 million more than last year, and we're higher than budgeted. And we have a net profit as of July 31st of $3.10 million. And that it's mainly due because we have reduced the transfers out from the bridge to the city to keep and alleviate the cash flow for the bridge. And all the line items are within budget, like if you can see on page 2. And at the last page, the crossings that Mr. Browen already went over, they keep going up. 11% for the trucks and cars, 13% for the southbound, 10% for the northbound, and 8% for the cars, year to date. And we're working on the budget. We already had the budget workshop on Monday, and we're finalizing everything, so we're hoping to present something already to be adopted by the second week of September. Have any questions?
Have any questions?
Yeah, real quick, like when you do like expansions and site improvements there at the bridge, do you get do you add on here, or do you have it specified, or like on what's your debt, or like because sometimes you go pay it off and then you have sort of a budget where you're paying
Yes.
for those loans which are your infrastructure, no, and then you have a sort of a fund to be able to reinvest, no?
That is correct. So since the bridge expansion debt was just issued this year, it'll be reflected on budget year 21-22, and we'll present it to you, but it's accounted for and it'll be covered. That's your question, right? Like the payment?
Yeah, exactly, because you sort of, if you have a fixed cost of a monthly payment for what is the bridge, then of just to say a number of $300,000 payment a month to pay the bond, then you have that kind of budget, and you know when you're going to go down on the loan, so you have equity to reinvest it on certain projects.
Yes, yes. We work with our financial advisors to actually do like a 20-year plan to see when those payments get reduced and to see when the bridge will have capacity again to issue more debt. I think that's what you're saying, and we do have that plan.
Yeah, because it's not really detailed here, right? It's just generalized, no?
Yes, right, and everything is included in here, but again, for the 21-22 budget is when you're gonna see those payments that you're talking about, and we can provide, I guess, like a 20-year projection, and so that you can see how those payments are gonna be allocated.
And the other way around also on the revenue, you have it just total revenue, but you don't have different sources of revenue, no?
98% of it's just toll revenues.
Because then you got maybe currency exchange.
We have the peso exchange and some rental income, that I guess the majority and what supports the bridges is the toll revenues.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have any more questions? No. Thank you, Carla.
Thank you.
You have your wish list for the budget?
We have our wish list, yes.
Yeah.
La lista de Santa Claus.
We'll go ahead, go to item C, if you don't have anything else on the finance report.
No, nothing else on the finance.
All right. Engineers report.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, city administrators, we do have Omar Anzaldúa, city engineer. He's going to give you a report on the status of our projects.
Good afternoon, Omar Anzaldúa, city engineer for the record. Just to go over a few of the major projects we got a little slideshow. The bridge facility expansion phase 2, we just had our final walkthrough today, so we should be wrapping up. That's the one with the remodeling of the administration office, some of the pavement improvements. You can move to the next slide. So this is where we're at. We should be, this is, what project is this? So yeah, this is where we're at. Place today, 74%. That was from last month, but we should be wrapping it up this month. That's the administration building. Next slide. This is the FY15 DAP project. We're at about 40% complete, and we'll have some pictures on the next slide. This is the northbound lanes expansions. You can kind of see the progress we're doing. We've been paving those outer 2 lanes. We got the booth foundations ready to go. That project should be completed in March, April of next year. So first quarter, that should be finishing up, and you can kind of see the progress of that. Next slide. This is upcoming work that we might be looking in phase 3. This is for additional fencing improvements and some other modifications that Luis is looking to do at the bridge facility, a canopy structure, just for more convenience there on the covered area. This is the truck staging project. This is in its final approval phase with TxDOT. This is the one where it's gonna be a combination of concrete pavement and then permeable pavement. It's the true grid. You can see where the trucks are gonna park. That's gonna be like a gravel reinforced pavement, and then the perimeter roads. And then we'll have some room on the top for development, for putting facilities out there. I know working with Victor on what exactly those facilities will be. Support facilities for the trucking industry. So it's about 255 stalls, parking stalls. And I know we're still working at getting that final approval from TxDOT. we should be able to finish up the project, finish up the design, and go out for bids early next year as well. And then this is the FY16 project. This is the one that's coming right after the FY15. This is the DAP. We're adding 13 cold inspection facilities, 11 dry docks, and then an ag lab. So that's just a rendering of what the facility is going to look like. This project is estimated at about $29 million, $16 million coming from TxDOT, $13 million from the city. So this we're on schedule to bid this out early next year as well, probably about April, May. And then this is the Twin Span project. As you can see, last month we just authorized our consultants to move forward with final design. And so this is the one we're shooting to finish the design early next year, so we can go out for bids, and with the completion date of 2023. That's the target date. So that's just a rendering. And you can see in red, that's what the border wall is looking like, how it's gonna abut, go under, and come back up. So those are the bollards. And we're coordinating with U.S. Army Corps of Engineers just to make sure that, there's no conflict while we're constructing the bridge. We wanna make sure the contractor has access to the river, that they're not impeded, so they need to leave a gap or an opening in that border wall. And if y'all have any questions, with any of the projects, be welcome to answer those.
Do you have any comments or questions? Do we know already how the parking is going to be arranged? Is that going to be like a long-term parking? Is it going to be a charge? It's going to be public, or?
I think as far as the details are concerned, one of the things that was discussed during the budget workshop was there's a lot of surveying going on right now. City's issuing a lot of surveys. In this case, I think that's probably one of the things we might have to do is send out a survey to the end users to see what type of amenities, what type of situation they're looking at as far as their parking, also to consider parking fees. I believe that when we first started talking about this project, the staging area 5 years ago or so, we did have a few ideas. We were basing it off of what they're doing in Laredo, for example, but things have changed since then. So it's time to do a little bit more due diligence and start looking at price ranges, if it's going to be open all night. It's obviously going to have to be a secure yard with cameras and things of that nature. Somebody that's guarding the place. We still don't know those details yet.
All right. If there's no more questions, we'll go to the director's report.
So yes, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, city administrators, we do have a few things to report on here today for the director's report. One of the things is obviously, we continue to do our Bridge Connect live sessions. We have one coming up this tomorrow, as a matter of fact. And this is, I know we keep talking about this. There's been a lot of repetition with the ACE program and why we keep continuing to do the outreach for this. But again, this is something that comes to us from the trade. It comes to us from CBP, more importantly, and they have requested this to do another outreach on the ACE program. As everybody knows, the ACE Automated Commercial Environment or Automated Commercial Entry is basically what we have to all comply with. We're importers, exporters of this bridge, or any other bridge for that matter. So it's in our best interest to keep pushing this out there to ensure that our end users actually know how to get into their log into their accounts, and also to be able to use that. But more importantly, I think that the issue with ACE is that a lot of the compliance issues is that the information doesn't match. So lo que tienes what you might have on your shipping manifest might not so entirely be in the system for ACE. So those are some of the issues. So you see some of the backups, you see some of the trucks that might be staying there or whatever. It's because some of the information is not matching. So it's in our best interest to keep pushing this out, doing the outreach to ensure that all trade crossing through Pharr is in compliance. So if you haven't been a part of this, or if you haven't been able to log in, or in this case, you can go in person. We have, how many spaces do we have? 20, 25? About 20 people that can actually, we can have there safely at our facilities, but also you can log in online. So the trade community out there, please join us tomorrow at 10 a.m. What's next? So the next thing I have is, as you know, we're members of the Asociación de Agentes Aduanales de Reynosa. As a matter of fact, we've talked about this every year, and one of the things we did with them this year is we couldn't get to do it last year because of the pandemic, is the CADEM conference. So we just got back from the CADEM conference, and that was a successful event. Obviously, now there's more due diligence, there's more work that needs to be done on our end to continue moving forward with that. But at the end of the day, you know, it all happens with our local communities or our local associations. And the local association here, or our regional association, is Asociación de Agentes Anales de Reynosa. So we wanted to present the outgoing president. We also wanted to present you the incoming president and the new secretary for the association. So maybe everybody already knows them, but I think just for the record, so that everybody can kind of put a face to the name, we'd like to invite them over just to say a few words and introduce them to the board and to the general public. Juan Abiel? Juan Abiel Barrera is our outgoing president. Juan Abiel Barrera es el que sale de presidente de la Asociación de Agentes Anales de Reynosa, y él va a platicar un poquito de ese tema, y vamos a presentar también a la persona que viene, que va a tomar su lugar, y también al secretario. Por favor, los teléfonos aquí.
Gracias. Pues, buenas tardes a todos.
Buenas tardes.
Soy Juan Abiel Barrera, expresidente de la Asociación de Agentes Aduanales, y pues vengo aquí para hacer algunos comentarios respecto a la participación del puente de Pharr en nuestro Congreso de Agentes Aduanales a nivel nacional, que fue el 14 de julio, de 14 al 18 de julio en Cancún. Pero más que nada, bueno, pues agradecer al doctor Ambrosio Hernández, también al presidente del Consejo del Puente, Edgar Agustín Delgadillo, al director del puente, Luis Bazán, al director de operaciones, Fred Brown. Más que nada para agradecerles la participación y la presentación de los nuevos proyectos que ustedes tienen aquí en la ciudad de Pharr, que la verdad que lo han hecho un excelente trabajo al hacer una promoción tan exitosa, no desde ahorita, desde tiempo atrás. Pues se ha realizado una labor muy importante, en la cual pues ahí están los números ahorita que presentaron, donde está el crecimiento, y que en un momento dado, a pesar de todas las situaciones que hemos tenido de la pandemia, ha crecido y ha estado creciendo las operaciones de comercio exterior. Y bueno, pues eso, eso les da también a ustedes pues una excelente situación para invertir más en estos proyectos que ustedes tienen, que la verdad que con la ampliación del puente, del segundo cuerpo, pues eso todavía nos da más seguridad al comercio. Y créanme lo que estamos con ustedes, la Asociación de Agentes Aduanales de Reynosa les agradece esta situación, que nos estamos trabajando de la mano, y pues creo que esto a todos nos da mucha seguridad, mucha certeza en lo que ustedes están haciendo, y pues cuenten con nosotros para lo que sigue. También, ahorita yo les dije que soy expresidente, porque les voy a presentar al nuevo presidente entrante de la Asociación de Agentes Aduanales, a Oscar, a Leonel como secretario, y bueno, el director, pues ustedes ya lo conocen, a Jesús Barrera, y bueno, pues ahorita Oscar se va a dirigir con ustedes para pues hacer algunos comentarios, y que bueno, pues estamos con ustedes, y bueno, pues seguimos trabajando de la mano con ustedes. Gracias.
Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias.
Gracias, Juan Abiel. Muchas gracias, Juan Abiel. Y a continuación les presentamos a Oscar Treviño de la Cerda. Él es el nuevo presidente de la Asociación de Agentes Aduanales de Reynosa. Gracias. Muchas gracias.
Buenas tardes,
Buenas tardes.
Mr. Delgadillo, Luis, Fred, miembros del Consejo. Yo únicamente vengo a refrendarles el compromiso que hemos tenido con ustedes y que siempre vamos a tener, agradecerles el apoyo que siempre he tenido o que hemos tenido de parte de ustedes, de parte de Luis. Ahora como como presidente me toca seguir impulsando todos los proyectos que se han venido desarrollando con el apoyo de todos ustedes. Y no me queda más que agradecerles toda la confianza que nos han tenido y seguir apoyándonos mutuamente en todo lo que es el comercio. Cuenten con nosotros para cualquier situación. Luis lo sabe, Fred lo sabe. Y pues bueno, vamos a estar aquí 2 años trabajando duro y pues no me queda más que agradecerles y darles las gracias por esta oportunidad de presentarnos. Muchísimas gracias.
Muchas gracias.
Muchas felicidades, Oscar. Y a continuación tenemos al nuevo secretario, Leonel Cantú Lozano.
Buenas tardes, miembros del Congreso, comisionados y demás autoridades. Bueno, como ya les dijo Luis, mi nombre es Leonel Cantú Lozano. Estoy a sus órdenes, soy el nuevo secretario entrante de esta administración de la Asociación de Agentes Aduanales de Reynosa. Y bueno, como ya lo dijeron mis compañeros, les damos las gracias. Vamos a continuar apoyándonos con ustedes, trabajando día a día de la mano. Y parte de mi trabajo va a ser pues cuidar que mi directiva, mi actual presidente y los encargados del puente Pharr hagan su labor, ¿no? en pro de los dos países, ¿no? Estoy a sus órdenes. Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias.
Bueno, quisiera tomarles una foto, quisiera invitar al consejo a que se tomen una foto aquí enfrente con ellos, por favor. Si
Sí.
sean tan amables. Tenemos un pequeño obsequio para ustedes para que se lleven, por favor. No, felicidades de nuevo a todos y vamos a continuar trabajando, ¿eh? Gracias.
Y digo, obviamente felicitarlos por su nuevo cargo y digo, no está de más mencionarlo que, bueno, saben que estamos para apoyarlos hasta donde esté el alcance del comité del que participamos aquí, la ciudad de Pharr, y gracias por la oportunidad de ser miembros de su organización y del CAREM, y esperemos seguirlo haciendo por muchos años. Hace años, digo, ya lo hemos platicado aquí varias veces, la estrategia del puente es estar presentes en los eventos donde están las personas que toman las decisiones de la logística, del comercio exterior. Ustedes son una gran parte de ello, si no llamarlo la gran mayor. El agente aduanal sabemos que tiene mucha influencia y peso sobre las decisiones que se toman en cuestión de cruce de carga, y les agradecemos la confianza. Muchas gracias.
Ándale, sí, por favor.
Muchas gracias. Muchas gracias. trae vale acá de nada. Eso, Ribeye.
Con esto, $25 cruza el puente.
Go ahead, Luis.
We continue. That's it for my director's
Yeah,
report.
that's it for
We
your
continue
director's
to
report?
item 3. Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
We're gonna go to item 3, which is administrative. And line item A, approval of minutes for July 21st, 2021. We need a motion.
Motion. Second.
A motion by Mr. Martinez, second by Mr. Hernandez. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Line item B is discussion and action, if any, on renewal of NASCO annual membership due for $5,000, and we need a motion.
A motion.
A motion by Martinez,
Yes.
second by Flores. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Go to line item C, which is discussion and action, if any, on advertising with the Advance News Journal for $930 a month for 12 months, and we need a motion for that.
A motion.
Campero?
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Martinez, second by Mr. Campero. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. We go to line item D, discussion and action, if any, of advertising with a Texas border business for $1,600 a month for 12 months. We need a motion for that.
A motion. Second.
A motion by Martinez, second by Hernandez. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Discussion and action, if any, on advertising with a Rio Grande Guardian for 11,000, two payments of 5,500. I'm assuming this is for a year,
Correct.
This is
Same
for a
time
year?
period. Yes.
and we need a motion.
A motion.
We have a motion by Mr. Martinez,
Second.
second by Mr. Flores. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Discussion and action, if any, of advertising with Inbound Logistics for 50,000 for 12 months. We need a motion. Is this the one that
I
includes
can
the
actually
event?
go into a
Okay.
little bit of a discussion on this one if you would like. So this is Inbound Logistics. We've been working with Inbound Logistics for, I would say, over the past 5 years. I think more importantly with them, it's not so much, and we've actually managed to negotiate the price down every year since we started with them. But what this allows us to do is basically hit all corners of the country and also in Mexico, because aside from the publication, aside from the dailies and the weeklies and all of that, it's the actual trips, the actual, participating as guest speakers, guest panelists with other executives in the trade industry, and it's for different sectors in Miami, in California, in New York, and in Mexico City. So it takes us to different parts of the world that we would normally not actually venture into, especially right now with as far as we're talking about the growth, we're talking about all the projects. We're going to be out there, going out there for more market share. There's a lot more products out there. There's a lot more activity that we have not ventured into. The past year, 2020, obviously, we did not do any traveling. So it's time to get back on track with that. And this is a recommendation on behalf of staff to continue operating and working with Inbound Logistics going forward for the next year.
All right. You have any questions? We need a motion. We have a motion by Mr. Flores,
Second.
second by Mr. Campero. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. We go to line item G, which is discussion and action, if any, on the contractual agreement with Ezequiel Ordóñez Animas, DBA Board of Infrastructure Consulting LLC for professional consulting and lobbying services.
Just, Mr. Chairman, we would like to go into a visit and executive session for this.
Okay. In accordance with Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code, Section 551.071 to .087, the Pharr International Bridge Board hereby gives notice that it will now meet in a closed executive session to discuss the items listed in the public portion of the meeting, of the agenda. The time now is 12:35 p.m. Excuses. Welcome back. The time is 12:53. And on item G, we need a motion to approve as discussed modifications in executive. We need a motion.
Motion.
We have a motion by Mr. Flores,
Second.
second by Mr. Campero. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. And now we just need a motion to adjourn.
Move. Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Hernandez, second by Mr. Martinez. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
Cameraman, we got technical difficulties.